We are back with more Silent Hill 2. We're just back where we left off here. And I decided not to make the parts too long because they take a really actually long time to get rendered and everything on my PC. So this parts will be a little more spaced apart than I previously wanted, but I think that's going to be okay. I can always put together a large version of them all compiled together, or more compiled together after I get the individual videos rendered. Oh, get off my screen. Jeez, those things are annoying. Alright. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? Last time we had just basically got all of the things we needed. We have our apartment stairway key, which is going to open this door right down the hallway. We've talked to Eddie and Angela about, just seeing where they are in their stories. We've talked a little bit about Silent Hill's influences, from Blue Velvet to Jacob's Ladder. We've also talked a lot about the monster designs as well. How each design is sort of humanoid, except for the bugs that crawl around on the ground. We have our lion figures, which are sort of trapped inside their own bodies. They spit acid at James. We have our mannequin legs, which are just two stacks of legs on top of each other. Rather feminine, almost like objectification, the enemy. So those are what we have so far. Now we're just trying to get out of the apartments. Speaking of mannequin legs, I also messed with the volume a little bit, so let's use the apartment key and keep going. Alright, get to fight Pyramid Head here. Nice sort of tight area. James has trouble going into the menu when they're aimed up like that. Oh, I got grabbed, oh no. At least we get to show that off a little bit. I don't think we need to heal, I think we're okay. A little audio bug there. No way! He tracked me last minute. That's funny. He tracked me last minute. Well, scratch that. Let's go back and get him for real this time. I haven't had that happen to me in so long. He's messing me up today. Yeah, that attack tracked me no matter where I was running. I think I can outspace it. I thought he was throwing the big attack. Oh no. James, come on. Don't do that. Alright. Oh, James. Ooh! That was so close. That's what I wanted to do last time. We're not gonna follow him because we can get hit if he turns around. So the reason we shoot Pyramid Head there is because it takes a long time. If we don't shoot him, we just have to run around for a long time, and we have enough bullets from the safe that we can shoot him pretty comfortably. Alright, so we are back out of the apartments officially. I wanted to save that little Pyramid Head encounter for next time, just to get a little bit of anticipation for the next episode. Yeah, usually I don't die to that attack, but it tracked me pretty weird. I should have run around him instead of trying to outspace him in a corner. I tried to run, and that was sort of my downfall.
You! It was you, wasn't it? You're the one who stepped on my hand.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
Huh? Are you blind or something?
What's that letter?
None of your business. You didn't love Mary anyway.
Wait! How do you know Mary's name?
So there we get introduced to Laura, another one of our main characters in Silent Hill. We find out that she's more connected to us than we would have previously thought. I'm sure a lot of people, when they first encountered Laura in the apartments kicking away the key, maybe would have thought that Laura was lost in Silent Hill or is a character that we need to save. But Laura is very independent, and most of the game we're sort of in awe of Laura's ability to make her way through Silent Hill very easily, where James and everybody else are struggling their way through. It's also fun. Laura draws little pictures on things and loves drawing pictures of flowers and cats and little bears with smiley faces, and I think that's very cute. So we find out that Laura has a letter from Mary, and it's our job to track her down and figure out what that letter could be. Maybe Laura was summoned here just like James was by a letter from Mary. So let's keep going and find out. We're gonna go up here and pick up some healing items. Or bullets, I mean, not healing items. More bullets, the easier it's gonna be to manage going through different areas. Taking care of enemies. I apologize if there's any screeching in the background. There's some renovations going on in my home. So here we are at Rosewater Park. Why are you here? So this is one of our first special places with Mary. Let's run through. Doesn't look like we can go that way. There are some bullets here. Alright. And a little health bottle. Let's see. We can make somebody out in the fog. So, looks like a woman. Could it be Mary?
Mary? No, you're not.
Do I look like your girlfriend?
No, my late wife. I can't believe it. You could be her twin. Your face, your voice, just your hair and clothes are different.
My name is Maria. I don't look like a ghost, do I? See? Feel how warm I am?
You're really not Mary.
I told you, I'm Maria.
Sorry. I was confused.
Where are you going?
I'm looking for Mary. Have you seen her?
Didn't you say she died?
Oh yeah, 3 years ago. But I got a letter from her. She says she was waiting in our special place.
And that's here? Anyway, I haven't seen her. Is this your only special place?
Well, there's the hotel too, I guess. The one on the lake? I wonder if it's still there.
The Lakeview Hotel? Yeah, it's still there. So, the hotel was your special place, huh? I'll bet it was. Don't get so mad. I was just joking. Anyway, it's not that way. It's this way.
You're coming with me?
You were gonna just leave me?
No, but...
With all these monsters around?
No, I just...
I'm all alone here. Everyone else is gone. I look like Mary, don't I? You loved her, right? Huh, or maybe you hated her.
Don't be ridiculous.
So it's okay?
Yeah, fine.
Alright, an absolute banger from Akira Yamaoka in the background there. We meet our fourth character in Silent Hill, Maria. So if we take a close look at Maria, Maria is basically the exact model of Mary, just like James said, your hair and clothes are different. She has a butterfly tattoo on her stomach, sort of similar to that butterfly room we saw before. She's dressed up not very similarly to James, but in the spirit of James, she takes almost her entire design from a woman on the Nickelodeon Choice Awards. I think her name is Christina Aguilera. But they took very direct inspiration from her outfit in Silent Hill, just like James had done with Jacob's Ladder. So a lot to unpack about Maria. Maria comes off very almost confident. All of her movements seem confident at first, but as soon as the idea of her being left alone here by James is brought up, her confidence almost seems to slip, like her confidence is a facade of some sort. she doesn't seem to be that confident person. To me, at least, her confidence is all show, just to appeal to James, but I don't think that's who Maria really is. And we get more about Maria from the Born from a Wish scenario, which I will also play and talk about, because I think it adds another layer to Maria's character that we see parts of, but seeing Maria by herself and Maria with James are two different things. And now Maria is our little companion. Wherever we go, Maria will go, and if Maria dies, it's a game over. So we are gonna take her with us. It has been concluded that Mary isn't at the park, and Mary possibly could be at the hotel, which is up the street, very much up the street from where, yeah, it's circled now on the map if you saw. So we're trying to make our way to the Lakeview Hotel. Unfortunately, it's not going to be that easy than just a general stroll up to the hotel. We have a few more areas to go before we can get there. Maria is actually, for the most part, a very good companion. Because the enemies in Silent Hill 2 aren't very aggro, it's a lot easier for us to weave past them. Oop. And they, on normal difficulty, they go down rather easily, so it's nice to have this companion. Whereas I've never played Silent Hill 4, but I've seen footage of the game, and the enemies in Silent Hill 4 are a lot more aggro than they are in Silent Hill 2, so you can basically just sprint ahead and Maria will follow you. It only gets a little difficult in a certain area when we're inside, but we don't have to take her with us for very long. Let's check our map. Let's see where we're going. So here we can pick up a pipe, which is a better item than the wooden board, so we're going to be using that instead for the most part. The Book of Lost Memories. The name comes from the legend of the people whose land was stolen from them. They called this place the place of silent spirits. By spirits, they meant not only their dead relatives, but also the spirits that they believed inhabited the trees, rocks, and water around them. According to legend, this was where the holiest ceremonies took place. But it was not the ancestors of those who now live in this town that first stole the land from these people. There were others who came before. In those days, this town went by another name, but that name is now hopelessly lost in the veils of time. All we know is that there was another name, and that for some reason the town was once abandoned by its residents. So the Book of Lost Memories is used for special endings of the game. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be going for, well, not unfortunately, but I'm not going to be going for any of those endings in this video, or in this series. Possibly down the line, I'll be showing those endings and maybe discussing them. But for right now, we're going to just stick with it. But it does give us some interesting backstory on Silent Hill. Because Silent Hill 1 was a game more based around cultists, Silent Hill 2 doesn't really give a lot of story about the town or why it's the way it is. So we get a little bit of backstory on the town of Silent Hill 2, that it was maybe owned by indigenous peoples, and that it was taken from them, and they left the town or abandoned the town for reasons that are unknown, which adds a little bit of mystique to the town. And it's just a very interesting read. Out of the little we do get about Silent Hill in this game, it's nice to just have a little bit of information. It is sort of hidden though. I never found that on my first playthrough, so that might have been something nice to find.
I'll wait here. I hate bowling.
I didn't come here to play, you know.
Hurry back, okay?
I always love that line. I didn't come here to play, you know. It's like, no shit, Maria.
So what'd you do? Robbery? Murder?
Nah, nothing like that.
Huh! You're just a gutless fatso.
What'd you have to say that for?
I thought you said the cops were after you.
No, I just ran 'cause I was scared. I don't know what the cops are doing.
But if you did something bad, why don't you just say you were sorry? Well, I guess I run away a lot too.
It's no good. They wouldn't listen. Nobody will ever forgive me. Did you find the lady you're looking for? What's her name? Mary?
So we get a little bit extra information about why Eddie is in Silent Hill. He's running. Something to do maybe with the police. And the song is just great. It reminds me a lot of the Twin Peaks soundtrack. If anybody has listened to that, the bum bum is very reminiscent of that, but this is probably one of my favorite songs in the game, for sure. And the bowling alley is one of my favorite areas in all of Silent Hill.
Eddie?
Oh, you're...
James. We met in the apartment building?
Yeah, I remember. But,
Are you alone here, Eddie?
no.
Bye-bye.
Wait! Come back! Eddie, let's go after her.
Huh? Laura? But why?
Laura. Is that her name?
That's what she said.
This town is full of monsters. How can you sit there and eat pizza?
She said she was fine by herself. She said a fatso like me would just slow her down.
Forget you.
So the bowling alley is one of my favorite areas just because it's a safe area. It's got good music, you get to meet up with the characters. It's just nice. Silent Hill areas to me are very cozy places. I wonder if we can get any more dialogue out of Eddie.
Who is that girl, anyhow?
I don't know. All I know is her name. I swear.
Who is that girl, anyhow?
I don't know. All I know is her name. I swear.
I wonder how Eddie got pizza in Silent Hill. That's another one of those jokes. But it's nice to have our characters all in one place, not seemingly feeling very down. But of course we have to be ripped from the comfort at some time. Let's go look for Laura. We also learned that Laura is looking for Mary just like James. She also finds a safe place in Eddie to discuss her feelings where, when she bumps into James, she either is making his trials harder by putting checkpoints and things that we need to progress further away, like kicking the key away, or running away from us, calling us names. Laura doesn't seem to like James very much, where, as with Eddie, she makes fun of his weight and sort of bullies him, but also doesn't actively run away from him either or try to hurt him. Not that Laura means any harm, it's just... she's just a kid. But it's obvious that Laura doesn't like James.
Did a little girl run out of here?
Yeah, she was too fast for me. Aren't you gonna go after her?
I guess, Maria, I guess I'll go after her. See if there are any items back here. Anything we can pick up before we follow Laura? Nope, nothing over here.
She went through there.
Is there any other way?
Yeah, there is. Right through there.
Well, I guess we're going that way then.
It's no good. It's locked.
I love the little peek over Maria's shoulder that James does, trying to get a peek at either where she's getting the secret key from or, taking a peek at something else. And we're greeted by another Akira Yamaoka masterpiece. Just back to back to back. Liquor bottles. I don't need that right now. It's not that I don't drink. In fact, I drink a fair bit. To get away from the pain, the loneliness. But the drinking never changes anything. Anyway, I don't need it now. There's something that I have to do. So this is the little bit of flavor text we get from James. We get a lot more flavor text in Silent Hill 3, but James and Harry both don't really give a lot of flavor text, so it's rare when we do get it from somebody. So we learn that James does a lot of drinking to get away from the pain that he felt, and that he's put it down now. He doesn't need it to find Mary since he has an objective. So the fan theory I was talking about in the last episode when picking up the canned juice to solve the trash puzzle was a theory that I heard Dump Zombie give. If you don't know who that is, he's does these really great lore playthroughs of this game, and in the theory he theorized that maybe the canned juice was originally beer, and that it could have symbolized him throwing away the alcohol to pursue his goal, which would be a big step for someone who's normally, I would say, an alcoholic who's using alcohol to self-medicate. But because of the amount of violence and the dark themes in this game, they could have changed it to canned juice to sort of get by with a lighter rating. Because canned juice, a lot of the puzzles in this game, the riddles in this game, have to do with James's and every other character's situation. It's rather odd that there's just a random canned juice. It doesn't fit in with the aesthetic of Silent Hill very well, and it seems kind of last minute as a puzzle. So that's the little fan theory about the alcohol. If it would have been a can of beer, it would have had more symbolism towards James. So I think the fan theory is actually pretty pretty good, and to me I'll just put my own headcanon on it, and I just replace the canned juice with alcohol personally, because it gives James a greater character arc, I feel. But anyway, let's continue. And we're in Heaven's Night, the strip club. Well, I guess that hasn't been revealed yet. The strip club. This is the poster that we saw in the bathroom, and Maria was who we saw on the poster. So it's clear that Maria is, in fact, a stripper in Silent Hill. It's kind of odd that a resort town would have a strip club, grimy strip club in it, but I guess there's probably a strip club in every small town. You know, they need their eye candy, I guess. Another beautifully designed area. Just really great looking area. I just love the way the neon signs look and the bar looks. But anyway, there's not much to do in here, just that little bit of flavor text and the design. So let's make our way through. Back out into Silent Hill. I love when Silent Hill does these top-down shots. I think they look really great. I'm excited for when different mods for this game eventually do come out. A VR mod would be really cool, or a first-person mod. The randomizers for Silent Hill 2 aren't that great. So, because of the lack of real diverse... Oh, I'll be quiet.
Over there!
Because of the lack of diverse enemies, Silent Hill randomizer isn't great. I might try the randomizer for Silent Hill 3 though. That could be pretty cool. So we see Laura go into the Brookhaven Hospital, and it's our job to follow her into this next really core big area. We're done with all the cozy stuff, and we're going into Brookhaven. Alright, let's not forget our maps. And I'm just going to bump all these doors just to get them checked off my map, or learn possible directions that we can go. This is a great way of figuring out exactly where you need to go. Is just bumping every door and figuring out every locked possibility. So if you find a key, you have more options. Ugh. Also, don't run into Maria because you can do damage to her. It's very silly, but just be careful when you're approaching her and just kind of walk slower. Alright, our save square. We'll read that in a second. We're going to go into the back room. Something is written on it. The potential for this illness exists in all people, and under the right circumstances, any man or woman would be driven like him to the other side. The other side perhaps may not be the best way to phrase it. After all, there is no wall between here and there. It lies on the borders where reality and unreality intersect. It is a place both close and distant. Some say it isn't even an illness. I cannot agree with them. I'm a doctor, not a philosopher or even a psychiatrist. But sometimes I have to ask myself this question. It's true that, to us, his imaginings are nothing but the inventions of a busy mind. But to him, there simply is no other reality. Furthermore, he is happy there. So why, I ask myself, why in the name of healing him, must we drag him painfully into the world of our own reality? Something else is written by hand. I got the key from Joseph. It's probably the key to that box. I got the purple bowl key. So that memo is very interesting. It somewhat describes what's happening in Silent Hill if we go back and look at it. It's called The Other Side. After all, there's no wall between here and there. It lies on the borders where reality and unreality intersect. It is a place both close and distant. So just like the history of the town, this is the very little information we get about what the experience of being in Silent Hill is. It's not a different dimension. It is just right on the borders of where reality and unreality intersect. It's also an interesting philosophical question here. Is it right to pull someone who's happy in their own reality into ours just in the pursuit of making them better? Because how better are they? I don't really have an answer, but it is definitely interesting. And then we have one more thing to read here. Oop, a little health. It seems to be about the patients hospitalized here. Jack Davis. He has attempted suicide 3 times in the past for reasons unknown. Although he is normally a model patient who follows doctors' and nurses' orders, he must be watched closely due to his past pattern of sudden and violent suicide attempts. Joseph Barkin. His illness seems to be rooted in the fact that he believes he is guilty of causing his daughter's death. His symptoms suggest a psychotic break and paranoid delusions. Normally calm, but has a tendency towards violence when excited. Joshua Lewis. History of hospitalization, as well as numerous assault, battery, and other violent offenses. He has a strong persecution complex and a tendency to solve things through violence. Extreme caution necessary. So normally, when people read, or when I first read the memos and things like this, since they weren't particularly describing characters that I knew, I thought maybe they were unrelated or meant just for the atmosphere and the horror of the hospital. Maybe we'll bump into these type of prisoners. It's at the beginning, maybe it's build up. But just like the puzzles in Silent Hill, the memos also have a connection to different characters. This memo, though it may seem very far away from what we're investigating, Jack Davis, he has attempted suicide 3 times in the past. Suicidal, normally a model patient, but must be watched because of these sudden, erratic suicide attempts. This could be reflecting Angela, who we've already seen has been contemplating suicide and, as we discussed in the last episode, is erratic, but normally seems to be okay and calm. Joseph resembles James. James maybe feels guilt that he might have with Mary, who has passed away. Normally calm, James is normally calm, but as we've seen, when he comes in contact with the enemies of Silent Hill, instead of running away, he decides to use violence. Just when the lion figure was in front of us, early in Silent Hill, instead of running away, James decided to pick up a wooden board and attack the enemy. And Joshua. History of hospitalization, as well as numerous assault, battery, and other violent offenses. He has a strong persecution complex and a tendency to solve things through violence. When we first met Eddie, he was swearing that he hadn't killed someone, and he seems to be someone who's bullied often, and that could lead to a strong persecution complex. So these notes and these patients resemble our core cast of characters really well. It's interesting to note that Maria and Laura are not on that list. There are only 3 people that it's relating back to: James, Angela, and Eddie. Alright, let's use our first safe square. Just some stuff to think about.